Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Superboy. This is the Connor Kent version of Superboy from the Teen Titans. He's, I believe, a clone of both Lex Luthor and Superman. I pre-ordered this guy at the McFarlane toy store, and he finally arrived today. So let's take a look. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse, Connor Kent. McFarlane Collector's Edition. Here he is in the package. It looks like he has a total of 4 hands, 3 heads. One of them sort of fell down at the bottom there. He has a collector's card, display stand, and then instead of getting the display stand for the collector's card, we have a small little sort of ground piece. Almost a diorama piece, but pretty small. But that's really cool compared to what they normally give us. One side of the package, Collector's Edition, Connor Kent from Teen Titans. This is the 15th figure in the Collector's Edition subline. Other side, Connor Kent. At the bottom, there's a barcode. You can see the head just sort of floating around in there. And the back, here he is posed up. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did end up getting all 3 of these figures from the McFarlane Toy Store. Utilizing the bundle discount and the coupon code, even after shipping and taxes, I got them for less than retail. Now, just like all the other Collector's Edition figures, these guys have Platinum Chase variants. Sergeant Rock looks like a toy soldier all green. Connor Kent Superboy, he has an L in his shirt, like the Lex Luthor version. And the manga Batman has it black and white. On the hunt for all of those. In the meantime, let's check these out. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. And it comes with quite a bit of stuff. It looks like they're finally stepping up their game with accessories for the Collector's Edition figures. We have a flight stand, a regular display stand, collector's card, a little diorama display stand, replacing the display stand for the collector's card, which I'm so happy to see. I hate those display stands for the collector's cards. A total of 4 hands, and a total of 3 heads. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is Superboy, and this is the version that's from Young Justice or the Teen Titans. This is the one named Connor Kent, and he was created by Lex Luthor as a clone of Superman, but mixed with Lex Luthor's DNA as well. He has the same powers as Superman, although I believe he's a little bit weaker, as his DNA is diluted with human. That being said, I'm really happy to add this Superboy to the team, one that looks like the traditional look of this character. So, let's start with his face here. Looks good, a little bit thin. Very young looking, as it should be. His hair is a little bit up. He doesn't have that curl of Superman, but he does have the Superman logo on his chest. Black t-shirt, blue jeans, that's his signature look. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Looks like he's done on the Todd McFarlane body, but we'll check that out in depth shortly. It's a little bit bland, but like I said, it's in his sort of normal look as far as I'm concerned, and I'm really happy to add him to the mix. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. It looks good. I don't know, something about it's just a little off. It's a little soft. A little thin. I don't know, just something's a little off. Like I said, it does look good. And then here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's a display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen a million times before. It's a black circle, very thin, very basic. Then we have his flight stand. It comes in 2 separate pieces. When put together, it's going to look like this. At the bottom, we have a transparent base that has DC on it and has a peg for the peg on his feet. Then with this post that comes up to the top, it's hinged, can rotate, and has a clamp to hold your figure. Here's an example of Connor Kent utilizing the flight stand. Now for his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the Connor Kent Superboy. McFarlane Collector's Edition. On the backside there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now we have this little diorama base, and I hope all the Collector's Edition figures moving forward come with something like this instead of that stupid display stand for the collector's card. It looks like it's almost a little crater where this guy's going to do a superhero pose. Maybe he landed on the ground and sort of made a big hole. It's got 2 pegs for the peg holes on his feet. The bottom, it's kind of flat to stand up, and it has a peg hole itself, so I guess you can plug it into the display stand if you need extra support at the bottom. I don't know. Here's Connor Kent, sort of punching into the ground, utilizing that display base. Or he can simply stand on it like a regular display stand. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 4 of them. 2 right hands and 2 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his other pair of hands. His left hand is a gripping hand, and his right hand is a pointing hand. Now let's look at his heads. He has a total of 3 of them. One with a regular expression, one with an angry expression, and then one with a bald head and heat vision coming out of the eyes. That one looks like Lex Luthor and is going to be perfect for the Platinum version, which has a Lex Luthor t-shirt. Here he is with his first head. This one has the regular expression. Then, with his second head, this one has the angry expression. And now, his third head. This one's bald, resembles Lex Luthor, has heat vision coming out of the eyes. Like I said, this one is going to be how I'm going to display the Platinum version of Superboy when I get him. One little comment with the heads. They don't really connect into the peg as well as most of the other figures. They come off a lot easier than I'm used to with McFarlane toys. Now I want to check out the differences and reuse between this Superboy figure and the Todd McFarlane figure. So let's take a look. Starting with their heads here, obviously the heads are completely different. As we go further down, it looks like the chest and stomach are exactly the same. The arms with the sleeves are the same, but it does look like the actual arm is different. Both the bicep and the forearm, you can see he has some sculpted lines here, whereas Todd does not, and his arm is much longer. Looks like the diaper piece, the legs, and the shoes are the same. So it's the exact same figure, except different head, different arms, and different paint job. And it's not bad reuse, but I do feel like it's a little bit too slim for Superboy. Not that he's a big buff guy or anything. And now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and its accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing around 7.2 inches tall, which can translate to just over 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course it can rotate side to side. He really can't look up at all, but he can look down about that far. Tilt his head at least a little bit from one side to the other. That will make it kind of difficult to get him into a traditional flight pose because his head can look no further up than this. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up about 90 degrees, up, down, around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion, and covering the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut, double jointed elbow. His wrists can rotate, and it's going to be hinged. His torso, he has a ball joint, rotate around, forward and back. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. You get more out of the waist than the torso on this guy. Legs, complete of splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is almost non-existent. Go forward, about that far. Back, not much. Double jointed knees. And then the ankles. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock. And of course, to articulation. Here's a look at the Connor Kent Superboy and the Tim Drake Robin on top of a rooftop. World's finest. And then here's Superboy posed up on another rooftop next to his trusty sidekick, Crypto the Superdog. Now let's check them out. Next to some of their action figures. Starting off with some of their Superboy figures. Here's this Connor Kent Superboy next to the Connell Superboy. Now these are both clones off of Lex Luthor and Clark Kent, and I'm not even sure they might be the same character. Connell is known as Connor, so I don't know if this is just sort of a more modern version. Is this what this guy turned into after Death and Return of Superman? Drop me a line in the comments below if you can clarify. Or are they two very similar but different characters? Because I was under the impression we had this guy here with the sunglasses originally, and this is his more sort of modern look. But if this is modern look, then what is this? I don't know. Are they the same character, or are they very similar characters? Let me know. And here he is, next to the John Kent Superboy. John Kent is Superman's son, so it's a different Superboy, although this is actually him as Superman. Then, next to Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime, I believe, is actually Clark Kent from a different multiverse. Sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy. But when he donned the identity of Superboy Prime, one of his main goals was to wipe out all the other Superboys in the multiverse. And I found it odd that McFarlane chose Superboy Prime to make a patina variant. It's a pretty unpopular character, an unpopular figure. Here's Connor Kent, next to the Mattel DC Universe Classics version of the Connell Superboy. I hope McFarlane makes this particular version as well. And now, here he is with the DC Direct John Kent Superboy. This is before they aged him up, back when him and Damian Wayne were the Super Sons, kind of their version of the world's finest. So here are all the different Superboy figures that I have. Pretty happy with this new Connor Kent Superboy. I hope McFarlane gets around to releasing the Connell Superboy, but the kind from the Reign of the Supermen. This kind here. Here's Connor Kent, next to my two favorite McFarlane Superman figures, the Action Comics 1000 Superman and the Hush Superman. He scales up about the same height as them, but is a lot slimmer. He could maybe be just a hair shorter, but I'm pretty cool with the way he is. Here's the Superman family that McFarlane has given us. We have what I would consider normal or default versions of Steel, Supergirl, Superman, Connor Kent Superboy, and Krypto the Superdog. They've really covered the basics of the Super Team family. I'm not really sure who else we need for the modern, normal versions. Yeah, Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, blah blah blah, but I mean the actual superheroes of the Super Team family. One could argue Cyborg Superman or Eradicator, but those are villains nowadays. They're not heroes like they were in Reign of the Supermen. I'm talking about the nowadays comics. I think this is a pretty nice lineup. Here's Superboy, next to some other members of the Teen Titans. Beast Boy, Arsenal, Wally West Flash, Superboy, Tim Drake Robin, Donna Troy, Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle, and Aqualad. I was a little bit torn if I should put the Wally West Flash or the Wallace West Kid Flash in the mix, but went with Wally. Now let's check him out, next to some other McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. Here he is with the rest of his wave. This is the 5th wave of McFarlane Collector's Edition figures. We have Sergeant Rock, Connor Kent Superboy, and Manga Batman. Now there are Platinum Chase variants of all these figures, and I'm a hunt for them. I believe I have Sergeant Rock and Manga Batman on the way, but I'm still looking for a Connor Kent and a second Manga Batman. Then, next to the 3rd wave of Collector's Edition figures, we have both the regular and Platinum versions of Superman, Captain Carrot, Batman with Green Lantern, and Wonder Woman. And now, with the 2nd wave, this one consists of Firestorm, Hawkman, and Sinestro. And finally, next to the 1st wave, this one had first appearance Superman, The Abyss, and Alan Scott Green Lantern. Now the 6th wave of Collector's Edition figures I'm really excited for. That one has Clock King, Ragman, and Joker's Red Hood. That actually shipped for the McFarlane Toy Store today. And then the wave after that consists of Huntress, Dark Knight Returns Batman, and Green Lantern Army Builder. Really excited for that wave as well. Now let's check them out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the most recent Platinum Wave. We have Sportsmaster, Manhunter, and the new 52 Reverse Flash. Here's Superboy, next to the 2nd Digital Wave. Green Arrow, Superman, and the Atom. And here he is, next to the Entertainment Earth exclusive Sketch Hush Batman. Then, next to the new 52 Cyborg Superman, and the DC Rebirth Tim Drake Robin. And now, next to the Target exclusive Jim Gordon in the Rookie Mega Figure versus Mr. Bloom 2-pack. Here's Superboy, next to the Target exclusive Fire and Metallo. Then, next to the Nightfall, Batman vs. Bane 2-pack. And now, next to the Dark Knight Trilogy, Morgan Freeman, Lucius Fox. And finally, next to the Joker and Punchline 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, next to some Jack Specific wrestling figures, and some Diamond Select toys. Here's Superboy, next to a bottle of wine, and here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel Superman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a very nice Connor Kent Superboy figure. He looks like the version from the Young Justice cartoon or the Titans TV show, and I really like that version. I also really like the Connell Superboy from Reign of the Supermen. I'm not 100% sure they're the same character, but I do think they actually are. My only complaint about this guy is I think he should be a little bit buffer. Now, he should not be a big, buff, swole guy, but he's on a very lean and thin body, which is okay. but I think just a tiny bit beefier would be nice. His accessories are fantastic, the extra heads. I love the display stand, replacing that stupid collector's card display stand. He also has some extra hands. Really happy to add him to the Super Team family. The accessories are great, articulation's good, sculpt paint job, excellent. If I were to rate this guy, I'm going to give him a 7. Leaning towards 7.5, but I'm going to land at a 7 out of 10 for this guy. Very nice figure. Happy to add him to the collection. Excited to get the Platinum Luther. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.